Somebody let your boy loose in the bookstore again. I see a lot of people doing book haul videos, and I realized when I was cleaning my office the other day that I have a pile of books that I haven't shown off or talked about them or talked about why I bought them. So we're going to take a minute today to chat about some brand new things that I've added to my library and why I bought them and whether or not I've read them yet. So let's look at my book haul because I have really pretty stuff to show off. Hey there, welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. I'm John Hartness. I'm the founder and publisher of Falstaff Books, as well as a professional editor and the author of over 40 novel-length works, including Bubba the Monster Hunter, Black Knight Chronicles, Quincy Harker Demon Hunter, and many more. But I'm also an avid reader of science fiction, fantasy, horror, all the stuff that I write and publish. I also read a ton of, and this spring has been really good for that. It's the mid-year mark almost. Wanted to show off some of the pretties and shinies that I've picked up lately. So let me move that over, and we'll start at the top of the stack with Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. Yeah, you might have heard the name before. He does some popular series about a guy and a cat going through. Yeah. No, Matt's the author of the Dungeon Crawler Carl series. He's a good friend. And when I saw that he had a book coming out that wasn't in the Dungeon Crawler Carl universe and that was going to be published by a major New York house, I wanted to make sure that I went out and I picked it up fast. And let me tell you why. One, Matt's a friend. Two, Matt's a great writer. Three, it's good for every small press and self-published author that Operation Bounce House sold very well on release. Why is that? Because New York publishing is historically phenomenally risk averse. They don't like to take chances on things. And when they picked up the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, they were taking a chance, kinda. The books were already massive sellers in ebook and audio, so it was pretty likely that if they paid Matt a nice little chunk of money for the print rights, that they would make money off of that. But if this book came out and landed like a wet fart, then it was going to be bad for the next person who sold a boatload of books as a self-published author and then tried to transition to a New York deal with a property that is not connected to the thing that made them famous, writer famous. Because let's face it, there have been some recent cases of self-published authors going nuts and doing really well and being published by big New York houses, and they've been reprinting the stuff that these authors have been already known for. Like I Am Legion, We Are Bob. I'm very sorry to the guy who created the Bobaverse. I really do enjoy the books. It's a little late in the evening, and I believe it's We Are Legion, parentheses, We Are Bob. The Bobaverse books have been picked up by a New York house, but they didn't necessarily pick up an original series by this guy. Dao Wong, who's a fantastic lit RPG writer, one of his series is picked up by a New York house. Remains to be seen if they're going to pick up another series by Dao. So, Dungeon Crawler Carl is right now the hottest thing in publishing, by a wide margin. So if Operation Bounce House does well, that tells New York publishers that Matt's popularity transfers to things that don't have talking cats in them. Actually, I don't know if there's a talking cat in this because I haven't read it yet, but I'm assuming that it does not have a talking cat. So I wanted to go out and grab this to support Matt. I'm probably going to read the ebook because I do all my reading digitally. I basically buy print books to get them signed by my friends and to show support for my friends. That's what all of this behind me is. This is stuff I wrote. This is stuff friends of mine wrote, or people I like and admire and have maybe met once. And maybe they'll be friends someday. Who knows? But this book did well, which means that it is more likely that the next self-published superstar will be able to sell a new book or series to a big press, which is good for all of us. Now, this version of Operation Bounce House, with the pretty sprayed edges and the spanky end papers and the different cool printed case laminate cover. This came from Broken Binding, a bookstore / publisher, specialty publisher. I'm not 100% sure what they are in the UK. I think that they're a specialty publisher, kind of like Wraithmarked or Subterranean Press in the US. And this also came, where's the, yep, came with a nice little signature. I don't know if that's auto pen or hand signed. I don't really care. I bought it because it's pretty, which means that I will probably be giving this away at some point at a convention. Matt hasn't signed that one, but I'll sign it for you. I bought this because I'm a sucker for really pretty books. And it was on a little bit of a sale. So I bought that one too. Not the first time I've bought the same book in multiple formats. Won't be the last. I mean, hell, I bought Parade of Horribles in both ebook and audio, and am bouncing back and forth whether I'm in the car or on the sofa. I'm listening in the car and reading on my Kindle on the sofa, just to be clear. I try not to read books while driving. I say nothing about whether or not I read books while sitting stuck in traffic. But another one that I got recently from Broken Binding, actually I've had this for a while. It's just been sitting on my shelf in a box unopened because I forgot about it. It happens, ADHD is a real thing. The third and final book in the War Art Saga by Wesley Chu. You've heard me talk about this series on the channel before. Asian-themed epic fantasy that flips the Chosen One trope and hero's journey script on its head. Wes is a fantastic writer, a lovely human being, and these Broken Binding editions are all glorious with maps. These are all hand-signed by Wes. So now I have the whole set. The other ones in the trilogy are, yeah, right here. Right behind Baldry's Legends and Lattes. Now, sometimes I buy books specifically to get them signed. And that's the case with this one, A Maiden's Grave. This book is old, y'all. It's older than probably a chunk of y'all watching this. This is by Jeff Deaver, who was our guest of honor at Saga this year. And I read this book, I believe I was fresh out of college. When did it? Yeah, this was published in 95, which was the year I graduated college. So I probably read this in 96, 97 in a mass market paperback that is lost to the annals of time and multiple places to live. But I really enjoyed this. I remembered really liking this book. So I got Jeff to scribble in it when he was our guest of honor at Saga. So this one goes in a place of pride on my shelf, despite it being a generic Viking hardcover that's 30-something years old and has been beaten up a little bit. This was a great thriller. If you've never read it, the ebook is relatively inexpensive. Hell, the hardcovers used are pretty inexpensive too. A school bus carrying 8 deaf schoolgirls and their teachers breaks suddenly on a flat Kansas highway. They should never have stopped. Waiting for them are 3 heartless men just escaped from prison, each with nothing to lose. And now, with the girls as their hostages, they have everything to gain. Yes, you have seen a variation on that premise time and again, and you may have seen the film that was made from this movie back in the early 2000s. That's when I described it to my sister. She was like, "Oh wait, was that a movie?" I was like, "I don't know. Come on, I can't remember what I had for breakfast, much less whether or not something was a movie in the last century." Oh God, yeah, I'm old. But it was. It was a movie, and Jeff was happy to see someone wander in with a copy of this at his signing at Saga, and it was great to add that to my signed book collection. Now, an unsigned book currently, but one I plan to get signed later this year, is Little Earthquakes, the graphic album by Tori Amos, with collections of short stories featuring short stories by Margaret Atwood, Kelly Sue DeConnick, Bill Sienkiewicz, some dickhead that I have tattoos of his work, and many of his works have been owned in my home at multiple times, but now I'm horrifically disappointed at his behavior, so we won't speak his name on this channel. Thank you. David Mack and Catherine Valente, but also tons of amazing art by Colleen Doran. And Colleen Doran is just a phenomenal artist. I first got to know her work from comics. So the ability to get something that represents a foundational album, because Tori Amos's Little Earthquakes was part of the soundtrack to my early college years, and love the album, have seen Tori in concert a couple of times, really love her work, love Colleen Doran's work. Kelly Sue DeConnick and Bill Sienkiewicz are astounding. Margaret Atwood is one of the greatest writers of my lifetime. So I picked this up because it was running low, and I'm doing a show later this year where Colleen Doran will be a guest, so I hope to be able to get her to autograph it. So I'm very excited to have this on my Pretty Books shelf as well. I bought this book because it came with a magic card. I'm 100% serious. This is the novelization. This is the novel based on the new Secrets of Strixhaven set from Magic the Gathering. And if you've watched this channel at all, you know that I'm a little bit of a Magic the Gathering nerd. Team Demir, just for the record. And I also bought it because Seanan McGuire is a phenomenal writer and a lovely person and a friend of mine and a Magic player. So I know that it's going to be written with the care that a true Magic nerd would give, and not the sloppiness of someone who will straightwash Magic characters for no good reason, which has happened in other Magic the Gathering novels. So I'm really excited to see that the last 2 Magic novels that I'm aware of were written by Magic playing sci-fi fantasy authors, Brandon Sanderson and Seanan McGuire, who are both Magic players and both are fantastic authors. And hey, Wizards, if you're looking for somebody else who has, I don't know, 15,000 Magic cards in their house, call a brother. So you can slide into my comments, it's fine. My friend Edie Sky was put something on her Facebook about somebody telling her that her book was too pink to be taken seriously. Let's get close on that title here. Can we adjust the focus? Can we focus, buddy? There we go. The book is called Catgirls from Outer Space. How seriously do you think the friggin' thing wants to be taken, you schmuck? Yeah, it's a big pink book with women spilling out of their costumes with knives and guns and pretty embossing and shiny, shimmery foil stuff and printed edges. And Edie and her husband Jacob are friends of mine, and I didn't have anything of hers on my shelf, so when I saw the opportunity to buy the extra Pank edition, I'm in. I haven't read it yet. I haven't read any of these yet, except Maiden's Grave. That's the world I'm living in. Like most of you, my TBR list is obscene, and the pile of books that I own far outstrips my ability to read them in a lifetime, especially if we look at all of the things that I've downloaded off Kindle or off story bundles or various and sundry ways to buy books. I'll never get through them all. But as Teresa, who works with me at conventions, frequently tells customers, collecting books is a very separate and distinct hobby from reading. So I am a book collector as well as a reader. I'm currently reading 2 different books, Parade of Horribles, and I'm reading an arc of a book that a friend of mine wrote to give them some feedback on it. And I love reading. I read tons, not just the stuff that I'm editing, but I also love a really pretty, well-produced book. And I like to look at them to see what I want to do. And if it's something that I want to learn how to do, I will reach out to the author or publisher and try to figure out what they're doing or see if they'll share some of their secrets with me. Most authors are very open to that, especially since I already know these people. Your mileage may vary if you're just randomly emailing people out of the blue saying, hi, where did you get your foil dust jacket? These are also my friends that I'm reaching out to, so I do have a leg up there. Oh yeah, we're not done. This one I have read a chunk of. I'm not finished with it. This is Time Rider by A.J. Hartley and Tom DeLonge. If that name is familiar, it's because he was the front man for a band called Angels and Airwaves and another band called Blink-182. AJ and Tom co-write several books. AJ's a dear friend, one of my favorite writers. So we were working a show together and I bought a copy. And it is also signed by both Tom and AJ. Sometime they were together and Hartley got Tom to sign a bunch of copies, so I got one that's double signed. Yay me. I'll wait till one of them gets hit by a bus or something and then I'll sell it on eBay probably. And last but certainly not least, I get to add to my Ray Feist collection with this gorgeous slip-cased edition of The King's Buccaneer, another book about Midkemia, also produced by Grim Oak Press with illustrations. It is hand-signed by both Raymond Feist and the artist Don Mates. It's got gorgeous foil. It's got illustrations throughout. And it's got a lovely ribbon sewn in. It's just a well-produced, really pretty book. A book that I love and have read several times. And it'll go right here next to the first 4 of Ray's books that I picked up. So that's my first half of the year really pretty shinies to show off. I could show you all the books I've bought in the first half of this year, but y'all, I have 3 conventions in 3 weeks. So I have literally thousands of dollars worth of books in my office right now, all packed in boxes, waiting to go to Con Carolinas and Stoker Con and Heroes Con, because I've got those all in back to back to back weekends. By the time you see me at the end of June, I will be a bedraggled mess. That's why I shaved off the beard, because I'm sure I will not be able to stand to look in a mirror for the next month. So if you see me at one of these conventions, please come say hi. If I look like I've been run over by a truck, then it's probably at Heroes Con near the end of the show, because I will be a tired boy. But I am looking forward to doing all of these shows. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can find to add to my collection. And then, you gonna come say hi? Gandalf's sitting down there, looking at me, knowing full well that half of you are only here for this big floofy boy. You know they love you, buddy. Why you so playing hard to get? Yeah. And now he's annoyed. Oh, you gonna stick around for a minute? That depends. I'm just gonna sit here and put my butt in your face. Anyway, that's our video for today. Gandalf and I thank you for joining us. And no, really, stop that. And if you would like your name up on the wall, like all these awesome people, first, you have to subscribe. Click that little subscribe button down there. If you want to ring the bell to get notified, go for it. And then after you've subscribed, leave me a comment telling me what of these books you think look the most awesome. And also, you can become a member of the channel and have your name up on the wall too. So, till next time, bye.